Man, the Cowboys are going to try to interview two other guys, Brian Johnson, not Ben, but Brian and Anthony Lynn. But this news was brought to you by Jory. She's a great insider, and she knows what she's talking about. Let's listen.
Two other people in the Washington building who have been factors in what the Commanders have done with Jaden Daniels. And I think both of them will be on the Cowboys call list. They'll have to decide whether they want to interview, and they'll also have to wait until after this week to do that. But I would say the first is Anthony Lynn, and the second one is Brian Johnson.
Now, both of those guys, of course, they got strong relationship with Jerry. Jerry is all about being comfortable. And Anthony Lynn, of course, we all know the storyline when he had a death in the family or it was something dealing with that. Jerry flew out to California to see him. On top of that, with that being said, Brian Johnson, he is the guy that worked with Dak Prescott when he was at Mississippi State. And, of course, he worked with Jalen Hurts, and now it's Jaden Daniels. So those are the two candidates there. But let's listen to more what she had to say about this, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts.
Brian Johnson, I've heard from multiple people, has been a factor in terms of Jaden Daniels' development. He was the Eagles' offensive coordinator last year. That did not go well, but also a lot of things didn't go well for the Eagles last year, and I think part of that's a Super Bowl hangover. But what's interesting is that when we think about the Cowboys, and I talked about this Monday, Jerry wants some degree of familiarity. That could be with the Cowboys. It also, because maximizing Dak is so important, could be with Dak. Well, Brian Johnson coached Dak at Mississippi State, and they have stayed very close since. I mean, they'll still grab dinner when they're in town, things like that. They're in touch. So he is someone who has seen Dak. And also, when you think about it, like, I've talked to people in the organization who believe, and you can say what you want about Dak's age and his health, that he does need to run a little bit more the way that Jalen Hurts does. Obviously, not with the exact same element for the Cowboys to maximize their offensive scheme. Well, when did he most do that? In college at Mississippi State. Who was the coach in the building then? Brian Johnson.
Well, let me say this, though. I don't want Dak Prescott running the ball. I don't give a dog about the familiarities that they have or they should have together. I don't like Dak Prescott operating out of comfort either. I think that he needs stern coaching. I think that he needs stern discipline. And on top of that, look, that ship and sail on Dak Prescott being this person that we looking for him to run. I don't want him to run the ball. I think that we need plays and designs to get Dak Prescott the ball out. I think that we need running game, not from your quarterback, by the way. So that's why we've been banging on the table for, let's say it, a Ben Johnson or someone that can bring some creativity in that particular light. Look, I get it. Jaden Daniels had a one hell of a rookie year, but let's not look at this as it relates to, oh, it's because of Brian Johnson. Oh, it's because of this and that. They still had third place schedule. It's not like they were ranked top 5 or top 10 in offense, by the way. And on top of that, yes, they made it to the playoffs. Yes, they won a playoff game. What they won a cookie, they haven't done it since 2005 as far as playoff game, and they haven't won a championship since 91 or something like that. It's been a long time, 90 or something like that. Regardless of that, those are neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is, shout out, kudos, and credence to the Washington team. But we don't need Washington personnel over here when we done beat Washington with our backups and our third strings. So what I'm saying is, look, Cowboys, let's pump the brakes. Let's not get too cute, and let's try not to get too fancy with this thing and go out there and go get these guys that we know for sure that's been making moves and being top 5 or at least top 3 in offense, and that's a Ben Johnson. Let's stop playing around with all of this stuff. And on top of that, if Ben is not there, look, at least let's go get someone that at least finished in the top 1 and top 2 in defense respectfully before the players got hurt, and that's Aaron Glenn. If the Cowboys decide to just say, hey, let's just go out here and go get a Brian Johnson or, dare I say, Anthony Lynn, it'll be more of the same. And I get it. You know, we talked about the Rooney Rule and these sorts of things about Robert Saleh as well as the Leslie Frazier's conversations. So they brought in a lot of minorities, meaning that the play is at hand so that when they do pick the other side, they can say, hey, we gave these boys opportunities. Look, you can't hoodwink the boys over here, well, the Cowboys fans over here. We know what you're doing, Jerry. We can read between the lines. On top of that, hear me out with all of this. regardless of who we pick up, we're going to support them. But we're going to call it and we're going to say it the way it need to be said over here on Law Nation Sports. Okay? And with all of that being said, Cowboy Nation, looking back at this particular team and looking at all of the holes that we have, we are still, in my opinion, probably operating backwards. Because what it looks like to me is Jerry Jones doing all of these soft interviews to build his particular staff, and whoever the coach is, they probably don't have say-so on who's going to be in operations of said staff. It would still be more of the same. Jerry, whoever may be the head coach here, can you do us a huge favor? Please allow these boys to pick their own staff so that we can have that continuity. Just don't be out here trying to mix these different philosophies together because there's something that you feel that is right and that you feel that will go together. Like I said, raisins don't belong on the potato salad. Don't try to force it on these new coaches that come here. You know, look, peanut butter is good by itself, but don't put mayo and peanut butter together. Come on now, you know, Jerry, I'm just saying. So let these guys pick out their own staff because that seems like that's what's going on. Interviewing all of these folks for the head coach position and then circle back and try to bring them in the folds for another position. Nah, Jerry, we can read through that. But kudos and credence to Brian Johnson and as well as Anthony Lynn. Because also this could be a ploy to throw the Washington off when they got to face the Detroit Lions. Because the same thing, if you bringing these boys in on the call list, should Ben Johnson and Anthony, not Anthony Land, but shouldn't Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn be in on the plan on the call list too? We waiting for those dates. But you already saying it about the Washington. So maybe that is a counter to the counter, you know. But we'll find out, Cowboy Nation. Post me your thoughts. Post me your concerns down below. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Let's get it.